We should be live. I'm gonna try and get us live on Twitch now. And there we go.
Hello, bro.
Hype.
Welcome everyone to the return of Bane of the Ancients, DnD 5e with some homebrew mixed in. We had a long hiatus during some people figuring life stuff out, moving, new jobs, things along those lines, and we're happy to get the ball rolling again. Today's session is not going to be as episodic as traditional, as we are reacquainting ourselves with the campaign where it is, and this is allowing our players and our characters some time to reflect, some time to remember, and some time to build fortifications so they don't die.
Mainly that
True.
last part.
Yes.
Stressing that last part.
So, welcome to part 1 of session 13, Bane of the Ancients. I am Gats. I'm the GM for this. And who do I have with me tonight?
Go ahead.
Fuck. No. Alright.
Such
You've
language.
got Eludria here. I'm going to be playing Katsu, kind of a roguish mercenary-ish samurai who aspires to be a shogun and hopes not to die in the Goblin Onslaught.
Yeah, and I'm J-Buck. I'll be playing Yakasame, the street urchin, today. And yeah, we're just going to try not to die. Hopefully set some stuff up.
Alright. So, this little backdrop area here, as a reminder to players and those watching, is kind of the, I'd almost call it the loading screen. Here in the left, you can see Yakasame's various forms that she has for her excellent familiar named Vlavante. Originally a rat, can become a raven, a carp, a tabby cat, or a mogwai. And everyone knows what happens to mogwais at night if you feed them. And up here at the top, we've got the recent familiar edition, but it has a special name. Can you explain a bit of that, Katsu?
Absolutely. The name that this bird takes after is, well, pulled a bit from mythology and is related to someone very dear to Katsu. The name being Aksha has a very deep significance and stings a little bit every time the bird kind of acts up and misbehaves and gets into Katsu's things.
Essentially, Katsu has almost like a spirit guardian in the form of a parrot. It's watching over him, it aids him,
But
not quite
it's
as
still a
obedient as a familiar.
Still definitely a parrot.
Here we see the ghost of the first Mogwai the party encountered, tactfully named Zero.
Yeah.
The players can't see it, but the audience can see it. These
They're evolved.
Mogwai were released into the wild,
Oh my.
and these Mogwai were sold as
Oh no!
payment
Yeah,
to a
we had no
clan
other
of,
choice.
of Koatoa.
It's just like around a corner.
um,
Yeah.
who
They really didn't even help us, did they?
No.
so-
We don't talk about that. Only God does.
And of course, oops. I'm getting reacquainted with Roll20. And of course, right here we've got our players. We've got Katsu, the, as he described himself, a wandering Ronin-esque warrior, hoping to become a shonen. Yakasame, the street urchin tiefling warlock. And Warthon, the, basically Simon from Firefly. He's a surgeon and scholar of the transmuting sorts of magic. And now let's go see where our party is. If I can remember what map that was. Oh no. Just give me a moment.
What this session's for.
Yep, this is exactly why we're doing this session. Because it would be terrible to be trying to figure this out while it
Yeah.
actually mattered.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I have a lot of maps.
Good.
Hey, and Roll20 is weird. It won't like drag and drop easily now. Is this the map? No. Lost forever. Oh, that must be it. Yes. So, where our party left off, they had just fended off an attack of goblins from a cave. Inside the cave, they had entered on a job to kill a notorious giant who had reportedly been stealing children. They went in, they defeated the giant, taking off one of its two heads, immobilizing the creature. They then found out that the giant was actually not killing children. It was fighting off goblins and protecting the village, as it had to, based on a promise it made long ago to an old nice man that it met. The party gathered the cleric from the nearby town, who came back and helped them understand this information with the giant, because their wall graffiti wasn't quite getting the message across as well as they were hoping. And they decided they would try to help save the giant's life. The Eden's life. Awarthon and the cleric tended to the wounds of the beast as well as they could, and the party discussed what they were going to do next. Below them, to the south, there's a village of high elves, farmers, people off the grid, not under the protection of the local castles, if they can even be considered local, for the area they're in is a rural, mountainous gorge. They're following these paths just south of the mountain ranges to the north, heading east across the country, following the beacon of some magical source. Since this giant is now down, there's nothing stopping the local goblins from terrorizing this village. Now, the village not only has something stealing its children, it also has the goblins to contend with. So, Yakasame and Katsu, talking while they were exiting the cave, decided that they were going to stand and fight. Protect the giant while it recovered, and protect the town while the giant recovered. Wow. And protect the town. The goblins come through here on their way down south, and Awathern was not happy about this idea. Awathern was very adamant that, let's go before we make everything worse and get ourselves killed. We've done enough. Let's get out. Yakasame and Katsu, however, started drawing up battle plans. How can they defend this little cave against so many goblins? And this resumes where our session was last time.
Yep.
That sounds about right.
Any questions or clarifications before we jump into stuff? Any past parts of the adventures we'd like to reflect on before we continue? Some of the recent encounters, some of the details, the subtleties.
Nothing I can really think of. The top. We kind of knew where. Well, we don't know, but we're kind of guessing where the goblins are coming from. I guess from the direction they ran,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which was like north. west or
Northeast.
northeast, kind of.
Yep.
Yeah. And if we were to leave, were we heading exactly?
Well, if you were to leave this area, you would be heading directly east. If you were continuing on your main quest. If you were to be going, based on the information you received about the missing children, to try and resolve that issue, you would be going south.
Yeah.
Back to the town is south, a little west.
In Katsu, we hadn't really spoken about what we want to do with the children being kidnapped, right?
No, we're basically like, fuck these goblins.
Yeah.
Like, really, we were. Like, if I recall correctly, you had talked about how we were potentially going to be rallying some giants. We're doing something to help. But that was put off pretty quickly as we're like, but we're gonna fight some goblins.
Yeah.
Now, Katsu is convincing himself that this is the party's decision, though Katsu has a score to settle with this particular goblin.
Mm-hmm.
It's coincidence. More
This
nice.
was their second encounter with the same goblin boss, and both times he has inflicted wounds upon the party and gotten away basically unscathed.
Fucked up Katsu.
Though minions lie dead in his wake, the goblin boss seems to always get away just in time to Katsu's pride's devastation. So at this
But
point,
not this time. Not this time.
no, at this point, Katsu is planning to lay the trap himself for the goblin rather than be ambushed, and has
Again.
convinced Yakasame that this is a really good idea. Awathorn, not convinced, though, probably wouldn't make it from here to town by himself. So, he's stuck.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, you're not wrong.
What else? I think that's all my questions.
Yeah, I feel like more will come up as we kind of get into the groove of things. But
Yeah.
that's it for me thus far.
Okay. So, behind you, you have the cave entrance to where the Etten lay. Bloody, stitched up, being slowly healed, and covered in the bodies of slain goblins and hobgoblins because you guys thought that was a good idea. The cave comes out of a sheer rock face, cutting across this glaive. To your backs, you have nothing to worry about besides the top of the cliff, the cave entrance, and the rock wall. But in front of you, there's a large, large area of open land, which during your initial recon, you determined this seems to be the place where the goblins cross. The area is fairly vast. Many trees, small hills, boulders.
What time is it?
That's a really good question. Why don't you roll me a d12? It's about 3 p.m.
Not ideal.
Okay.
As you can see, the players are using Roll20 to try and figure out exactly how big this area is.
Yeah.
Support shit right now. Okay.
And a lot of this session will be spent allowing the players to assess the battlefield and the area around them. And I'm going to give them a moment to get a picture of what their characters would already know. Some of these sketches on the ground here, such as these dark spots, are things that the the characters at this point are mentally projecting onto the area, as no tangible fortifications have been constructed.
We haven't done anything yet.
It's just a nice little forest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I can't really do anything. Summon Levante at the moment. I can, but I'm gonna wait until when I cast it, it'll be at start.
I think you'd already summoned Levante
Did
and
I?
did a bit of scouting when you tracked where the goblins ran. But then, again, the timeline, I must say it's been months and I don't
Yeah, it's
remember
been
what
a long
time of day.
Same.
But you did track the goblins pretty far out as to which direction they were heading.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just remembered wanting to make Levante a gremlin.
Mhm.
Maybe I was just gonna change something else right now.
I mean, that's something that I also remember.
Yeah.
Using the first hour of preparation to basically sum up Levante as a gremlin.
Mm-hmm.
And add, like, I don't know, 10 minutes on that. Make that a ritual. Tasty.
Yeah, but if I summon him now in the sunlight, hurt.
He'd
So,
explode.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
call
that's
it.
true.
I remember the last time you summoned him, which was while you guys were preparing.
Yeah.
It was going into the evening. You had summoned him, and it was a winged form.
Was it a winged form?
Yep, because remember, I'm pretty sure that's what had happened because I think you guys had gotten really excited about it.
Yeah, because it
Yeah,
happened
it's
again.
super cool.
So let's call it 3 a.m.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right.
Make that just make that easier
work.
for everyone.
And the way that we ended up tracking the goblins, could you show that on the map with an arrow?
Sure. So, essentially, coming from this direction. But during your initial scouting, you could tell they frequent, kind of paralleling the rock wall, going diagonally through here towards the town.
I don't think I can see your arrow's not showing up on my screen at least.
Yeah.
You don't see this?
No.
Oh, that's because I was on the GM layer, probably. You see this now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, the audience saw. That's good enough, right? So
What?
goblins have been coming from this direction, essentially.
Okay.
Basically all of this, and they frequently come down diagonally parallel to the wall all across this area. It's fairly obvious that some of the goblin tracks have not been the most discreet, and it's
Okay.
also pretty obvious where the Etten catches the goblins, kills them, and brings them back into his cave.
Gotcha.
Or used to, before you maimed him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, he came in a.
No,
Hey.
not really.
Hey, he's just taking the bench for a little bit. He's just
Yeah.
getting some R&R.
Yeah, get some rest.
The loss of one of his heads and one of his personalities is but a small setback to an Etten, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like half of his body was paralyzed last you saw him.
Yeah. That was RB.
Well, Katsu, I think if we're gonna stay and try to fight these things, we should hold up in the cave. But if we do that, we're gonna need another way out, probably.
I agree. And DM, really quickly.
Mm.
So this cliff face, is it like all wonky and like snake all over and have like different ends, or is it like kind of clear cut, just like boom, straight diagonals?
It's pretty straight.
Alright. Good to
and-
know.
Yeah, it's pretty straight where you're at. And if you remember, you guys were thinking about like how can we climb up this rock face, and you're like, that's probably not the best idea.
Oh yeah, it's pretty solid too, right?
What is?
The rock face, like it's solid. It's not like
Yeah.
there's a bunch of holes poking into it and like other caves going in along the way.
Mm-mm.
Good to know.
It's not nearby.
Okay.
There might be some
No, that,
nooks and crannies and cracks, but there's not a bunch of holes and tunnels and things around now.
And if you look at it along the way, are there any trees or shrubs that get like pretty close to the cliff face? Or are they all like a good 10 feet out in terms of growing?
I mean, you can tell that the plants want to be closer to more consistent light, so
Mhm.
it's about
Okay.
as close as you can see now. There's a couple bushes next to the rock wall, but you're not going to have any significant trees that close because they're not going to be able to get their roots. So probably the
Yeah, that makes
closest
sense.
tree is maybe 15 or 20 feet from the wall.
All right. And in terms of shrubs, kind of the same?
You see what you see. Everything on the map is on the map.
All right, awesome. It looks like there are a couple shrubs that are actually decently close. Yeah, like this guy. That guy's pretty close.
Mhm. Yep, everything on the map that you see is tangible, except for your squiggles.
Darn. All right, that's like only 5 feet away. That's not bad at all.
Unless you want them to be tangible, they're like weird. They drew weird teal and like they
Goblins come
smeared.
through
Looks
like.
like they smeared some poop on the cave walls, some ash on the ground.
Oh no.
They wrote,
All
"Who
right,
knows what this says?" I think it's supposed to say 60 feet, but
60 fata.
Ta.
60 fatatus. All right.
so in order to give you guys some guidance while you're reminiscing and thinking about what to do in this area, who would like to do the first set of rolls?
Got to, that's you.
Yeah, Gatsu can go for it.
Okay, so the first thing that we need to have you do is roll me 4d20.
40-20. Individually? Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Sure. Interesting.
Hopefully I'm getting those low rolls out of the way sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Okay.
Now watch, it's just like 1, 1, 1, 1. I'm just like, guess I'll die. Rocks fall as I'm walking inside.
Got
When
it.
I open up the dice roll chart thing, what's
Mhm.
the fudge?
I have no
I'm
idea.
I'm gonna click it.
Is that just a burn? Oh, it's just 0. -1.
Oh god.
Rolling a defudge. Alright,
Oh,
let's...
oh shit.
Different system.
Yeah, it's a different dice system that
Hmm.
we don't use.
If only you could just fudge your rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When the DM really wants that nat 20.
yeah, that's a neutral, negative, positive kind of thing.
Oh.
So as far as okay, so you rolled those, netted 32 or something, right? Yep. Okay. It's 3 a.m. Okay. Now, is there anything in particular that you're going to jump into doing right away? You scouted the area, you've assessed the land a little bit.
Well, like I said to Katsu, I think where we should start is an exit strategy if we're gonna stay here and try to hold off the cave.
I think I have one in mind.
Yeah. Like what?
Warathon,
Yes.
what are the limits of your ability to alter earth and stone?
What do you mean by limits?
I would need you to be digging us a hole in, well, the wall you see over there. It wouldn't have to be big, just enough for 3 of us to get out.
You want me to make
Tunnel.
a tunnel? Well, I'll see what I can do. I'll take a look at the rock. I don't know exactly yet.
Alright.
And Awalthorn walks over to the rock.
And before he starts
examining
anything, I have an idea on where you should start the tunnel from the inside. I think it will leave you with the least amount of work. It should be pretty close. Well, not exactly close. It's at the farthest part in the cave, if I recall correctly. It's the area at which we had found the pile of items behind all of the rocks.
Yeah, where Leonardo showed us to go.
Yes, where Yakusame's familiar showed us where to go.
Oh, he's not my familiar yet.
Well, you bear the spirit of my ancestor. Even so. If I recall correctly, that would be the closest to the outermost cliff face. Would lead to the most feasible and least time-consuming tunnel that we could make. After making it, I feel that we should, well, hide it. And Gatsu kind of looks around. There are some shrubs and boulders and stones relatively close. We could take one from a bit farther out and use that. Wouldn't be a very good way out if, well, we were ambushed the moment we try and use it to leave, or if they found it first.
Yeah, I think
Well,
taking away the one advantage of having a cave only to our backs.
can you, Awarthon, can you keep it closed until we want to open it?
I think that's a good idea, actually. Awarthon, how quickly can you move stone? Or dirt, even?
I can move it very quickly.
So, would it be feasible to almost get to the outside, and then when we need to, remove the last bit?
Yes. Though I'm afraid it will be very obvious when we decide to come out that spot if we destroy it right then.
Yeah.
Well, that'll do.
Okay.
Yakusame, shall we start on that?
Yeah, let's head inside and take a look.
While we're doing that, I have some other ideas for fortifications on the inside of the cave. And I let out this whistle that I'm not going to do over mic. Aksha, keep watch.
Yeah, Levante's keeping watch flying around.
I'm trying to find where that cave ended up. Oh my gosh, it's so far. Kimbic.
Back to me, baby.
There we go. Let me just...
Oh my god. Yeah, we smeared a bunch of bodies on the end and like, this is fine. Okay.
Just give me 1 second to clean this up.
Yeah, so if this is the entrance here, then like over here should be pretty close to the cliff face because it's... Fingers crossed, you know?
Okay.
I mean, if this is to scale, our opening will be like 130 feet away from the entrance.
Huh?
I said, if this is like to scale,
Mhm.
our exit when we open it will be like 130 feet from the
Oh.
entrance of the cave.
No, I just meant we'd go this way, we'd go out.
I know. I'm saying,
Along the
looking
wall.
from the outside along the wall, it'll be
Oh.
from where the gobbies are outside.
Yeah,
will be-
130 feet is a pretty good distance, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Good call, keeping track of that. Good stuff, good stuff.
So again, this is the cave where they originally encountered the Etten. The scribbles all over the cave are scribbles made by
Oh,
the
no.
player's minds, characters' minds, except for the
Well,
teal cave
yeah.
paintings over here, which were made by
We made
the
those.
characters trying to communicate with the Etten in a
Oh,
very ineffective fashion.
He lives in a cave. We use cave paintings. I don't know what else to
The
do.
cave, the Etten's right here under this pile of goblins, as they thought that was the best thing to do at the time.
Hey, hindsight is 2020. Okay.
So, where exactly did you want me to make this?
and Gatsu seems to be just kind of surveying the entrance here. It's much deeper within the cave.
Lead the way.
Let me just step over these fellas.
Excuse me, pardon me.
Oh, excuse me.
And Hawthorne hugs the wall, tiptoeing over all of
Yeah.
these corpses as best as he can. Walking over the piles of goblin bones and the few bodies of adventurers and village folk who had tried to kill the Etten.
Whoops. Ripperoonie. And we had an entrance to these rocks. Yeah.
I think we closed it back off, but yeah, I think we opened it again.
I don't remember exactly, but I think you had crawled over the top after doing some moving of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Crawl, crawl, crawl.
We'll just say you can come back in. You got there in there before.
All right. Here. Right here, I think is closest I could. Well, my cartographer's intuition makes it feel like it loops back towards the cliff face.
I see. So you want me to dig this, but not all the way out?
Yes, please.
Alright, I can get started on that.
And Gatsu's gonna be rummaging through, like, checking this pile over to see if there's anything that might be useful in the coming endeavors, because I can't remember what's in here.
What are you looking for?
That is not what I was hoping.
Are
As a
there
response.
are there any saws or axes in there?
There's
Like-
a bunch of shitty goblin weapons in that pile.
Any hatchets? Hatchet to cut down a tree. Jesus Christ. No. No.
Think about
Okay.
think about the kinds of weapons and stuff that goblins would have. All that can be found here
Okay.
to a limit.
So,
So are there any like big goblin axes at all?
any farmer axes? Any axes, generally speaking?
I'm just looking for like a shittily made, barely holding
Why
together
don't you both
big
roll me
gobby axe.
either survival or investigation, depending on what you want. I'd say, wow, Yakasame.
Yeah.
Leaves it.
Yakasame digging through actually finds like a high elf wood axe that would be used to cut down trees.
Nice.
It's not the fanciest thing ever, but it's made by
Yeah,
high
it's
elves, so
something.
it's well made.
I'll
Better than, trying to take a tree down with a short sword.
yeah. I'll take that. Here you go, Katsu.
Gatsu, like, raises an eyebrow, like, I can see this.
Yeah. You can probably use this more than I can.
To be
All right.
fair, it was covered in goblin items and
Yeah.
had a bunch of dirt and blood on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. We can use that to go cut some trees down if we want.
And are there any salvageable like arrows or shields that could be used as just like scrap wood or
You're looking for wood?
yeah,
Um,
like any kind of planks to be used?
planks? No.
Okay, no planks.
No. Usually planks aren't used with weapons.
No, I just imagine just like goblin tore off a plank from something, uses it as a shield.
Bloodborne shield.
Straight up bloodborne shield. No. So in that case, what about any like broken arrows or anything of the like?
I mean, there's some little like twiggy looking things, I suppose, but not really. It's essentially there'd be some bits of shitty, broken, rotted, twiggy looking goblin arrows. I'm sure you could find some of those. But in this pile, not as much. There just wouldn't be that so much. If you think about the types of things that Etten would have stripped off of the goblins and thrown in here.
Okay, so maybe some like destroyed, just crunched armor.
Yeah. And weapons.
Goblin armor.
Any type of rope, anything of the sort like that.
Roll me investigation on that.
Okay. Investigation. Not bad.
There's like a 15 feet hemp rope. It's pretty low.
Awesome.
Looks like it snapped on one side.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay. Awesome. And let's see. I'm just trying to think of anything else that Gabo might have on it. Like, they've got dark vision, so I don't think they have torches or any need for oil of any sort. Hey, what about, like, shoddily made little, like, daggers?
There's plenty of little shanks in this pile.
Okay. Good to know.
Rusted pieces of metal.
Yeah.
With
With what
some
appears
piece
to
of
be
leather strap on one side of it so they can hold it without cutting themselves. Yeah.
All right.
Broken pieces of other weapons and short swords that they sharpened into being wicked looking little dagger shanks. There's just as many of those as you can carry.
I was going to say, is there any like type of device I could use for carrying? So for example, a long strip of leather, I could just roll some up in, like anything that I could get this pile to like drag in and not have to like carry them myself up against me.
Don't you have like straps and things with you, or do you not have anything like that in your equipment?
Oh no, I do. I just didn't want to have to use mine for this.
Let's just say the goblins essentially just stuck this between the belt and themselves.
That, yeah, okay. Sometimes just stuck it straight in their leg on accident.
Yeah, the little goblin dudes.
All right, cool. So in that case, I've got that breastplate I've kind of just been carrying around, not really using for that hobgoblin. Could I potentially just like use the inside of the breastplate and just like fill it with these gnarly shanks?
You could try and do that. Use it as a little tiny sled. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a little sled.
Got a little sled of shanks. Nice. Yakasame,
Yeah.
do you know much about pitfalls?
Can I roll, or have I read anything about
Survival. Yeah.
a nat 20? So another nat 20.
Yeah.
You know pitfalls exist. They're disguised holes. And people fall in them. And you remember Warthen fell in that really crazy ass one.
Yeah, I saved him from that one.
That thing
was
was
intense.
nuts.
Yeah,
Dude.
Katsu, I mean, I know what they are, but
Yeah, Katsu generally knows. Like,
You guys synced that one. That one was pretty
okay,
cool.
yeah, that's
yeah.
a pretty good pitfall. I'm
Goblins
not
didn't
thinking
even want to
of
go down there. They're like, dang, it's in there.
yeah. We wouldn't have to dig too deeply, especially not if they're goblins. But what I'm thinking, and you see me gathering the metal scraps, Yakasame, if you're paying
Yeah.
attention. Um, I'm thinking we could leave these at the bottom. Might take out a few of them.
Yeah, that could be a pretty good idea.
I think with the Warthon's ability to move and shift the earth, we could make pitfalls relatively quickly.
Can we hide them so they can't see them?
I don't know.
It's fine. They're stupid goblins. They'll probably just run into it anyway.
I wouldn't be too sure about that. They are crafty.
Yeah.
Let's think about it in the meantime, a way to hide those. I think that will be one of the most effective traps we can lay.
I can certainly help with digging holes, but I don't think I'd be able to disguise them. And beware, even if we do dig the holes, we have to put all the dirt and rock somewhere.
Yeah.
That is true.
Orthon, when you move the earth like that, can you shape it at all?
Somewhat. Let me literally read the description of my spell from my book.
I love how that was half in character, half not.
I was gonna say, is that DM or?
The Snark's fourth wall broke.
Ow.
Well, I can choose a portion of dirt or stone that I can see. It has to be fairly close by for the magic to work. If it's, for example, an area of loose earth, I can instantly make it move out of the way along the ground, but only about 5 feet. And again, not with enough force to cause any damage. I can do it about instantly. It takes about 6 seconds, maybe.
Can you
3.
make it? Can you take it from one place and make it kind of round, and put it somewhere else so we can use it later?
I can
Like
do
a big
that.
rock, like a boulder.
I can do a square, or rather a cube.
There's this nice, like, big old boulder and just, like, this perfect chunk taken
Yeah.
out of it.
If
Cubes don't
it's
roll very well, though.
True. If there was something smaller than 5 feet in diameter, then I could certainly move it. But if it's larger than that, I would have to take a cube shape.
We could do like 4 foot and make it round, right?
Yeah, if it's already round.
So, can you take round scoops out of the ground and set them over there?
No.
No?
I,
Oh.
You
all,
said...
all of my magic, unfortunately, the force and the way that this spell is designed, it can only control cubes. If there was, for example, a boulder in the ground that was less than 5 feet in diameter, and I excavated it while digging, I could move that boulder. But again, only 5 feet at a time.
You say you work with cubes. Do you think you could make a stone face flat? Or... well, yes. Flat, slippery, smooth.
Yeah. That shouldn't be too hard. I can do smooth. I don't know about slippery. It is still stone after all.
That will come. Alright. I have a few ideas. Warthon, would you be willing to work on this exit here? Remember to get it close, but not all the way.
I can do that. I'm just... it's a bit hard to tell how far to go.
Well, if you break through, just put it back.
That's literally what it was, and it's just.
Yep. Alright, thanks, Warthon. We're gonna go make other stuff.
Um, be patient with it. If you need to, take little bits at a time. I'm sure you can figure this one out. I'm counting on you. We'll just be in the main corridor there, like points past stones. Alright. Call us if you need anything.
Will do. And then pause. Because I'm trying to remember exactly how mold earth can work. Because I know that
Chunk, chunk, chunk,
it only
chunk.
works. The thing is, what's weird about this spell is that the transmutation only lasts for an hour. I
Yeah.
don't quite understand what that means.
So, some of them only last for an hour. Like, the second one specifically states that it lasts for an hour, but the first and so the first lasts indefinitely.
That's what I thought, and that's what I was
Like-
checking. Like, you can move stuff, but if
Yeah,
you're
if
trying
you
to
move
make
it, it doesn't just, like, port back.
yeah, I think it's
That'll be
like
terrifying.
That's what I was wondering. You could break the game so
You
quickly.
just have a goblin
Yeah.
hole that just, like, buried.
Exactly.
Instantly.
Minecraft rocks spawn, you're dead. Like what?
All you'd have to do is just end the spell, right?
Yeah, you just empty out a cave wall, you lead them all in, and spell just the rocks replace the
Yeah.
goblins. They just all explode.
They use dispel magic. Like,
Yeah.
Reminds me of Rick's Minecraft Tales. Oh, man.
Yep. So, okay, yep. And pardon that, that's just mostly my headache and my hurting eyes from work this week.
Yeah, no
oh,
problem.
good.
All right.
I thought that for the longest time, though.
Yeah, so essentially he can make something difficult terrain for an hour. Or
Yeah, it could basically, like,
vice
make it into
versa.
quicksand.
for an hour. But
Turn all around.
yeah. Or it can just be a backhoe, which is basically what it is. It's backhoe.
Yeah.
man.
Back home, man.
So you see a Warthorn, kind of putting his hand up to the wall, has his book in the other, trying to figure out exactly how he wants to do this.
Makes sense to me.
Yep.
And it sounds like you and Katsu exit the cave.
Yeah. This
no.
little area at least.
This area. Okay.
So basically, I'm gonna move myself here to the, like, right. Yeah. Oh my god, the walls are solid.
Right,
No. I was like slamming into a wall, like, I can't go.
Yeah,
So,
it's
yeah.
called stone. So Katsu was slamming up against stone.
Smack, smack.
Ugh, it's solid. I can't move through here. I have to find a way
Katsu.
around.
Katsu has flashbacks of when he was a poltergeist. His past
It's like
life.
a third-person shooter going around a corner, just
Mhm.
running into the corner.
Exactly. Yeah, I
Yokosume.
realized you were an NPC the whole time.
Yeah, Katsu.
This will be our main line of defense here. I can see a lot of options for it, but some
Yeah,
of
it
it will
looks like a
take
good
time
spot.
to set up.
Hmm.
It would be ideal to make some sort of blocker for this entrance here.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Then we could stop him a little bit.
And you see in front of you, there's the mounds of skeletons that you had to climb over.
Yeah.
All goblin
Oh.
skeletons, for the most part. Spare a few recent adventuring editions.
So, let me get this straight. It says you can move a 5-foot cube, but it can't cause damage, right?
Correct.
It doesn't
For-
move enough to... So get this.
So it moves slowly. It's not. It takes like 6 seconds to move a 5 feet. So you're not
feet.
like instantly
So-
slamming with a 5 cube of stone's force.
Oh, okay. So what if you took a 5-foot cube off of like a 50-foot ceiling, lowered it 6 feet, and then dropped it?
That could I mean, you could do damage that way.
Okay,
We can
so it
drop
wouldn't
the
just
ceiling
like
on them.
it wouldn't basically be like a feather fall kind of spell, correct?
No. What? So what you're asking is, if you're within range of the ceiling and you take a 5-foot cube out and lower it 5 feet, essentially like
Disconnecting it from the ceiling.
disconnecting it from the ceiling, it would kind of hover there until the spell ended, and then it would drop.
Or if you just like,
So
you can move
let
it the 5 feet. So if you place it right there and then that's done with, does it drop itself
It will drop itself after the spell is ended.
after
Yeah.
the spell?
So essentially, it won't fall that same turn, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
take that whole 6 seconds.
It'll basically be like griffins and mind magic.
You gotta be like, what? As you see, like a square coming out of the ceiling, and then it doesn't fall, and then like, yep,
Okay, but after that turn it would fall, correct?
Yep.
Good to know.
unless there's something holding it up.
Okay, so how tall is the ceiling right here at this entrance thing?
That was a good question. It's tall enough for the Etten to walk through with no problem, and if you remember the description, right here is kind of where it opens up high to a very tall cave
Yeah.
ceiling. This
Yeah.
one chamber you're in is quite large.
So we'd have to go in a little bit. Like, what's this
So,
hallway looking like
I'd
height-wise?
say, let's see.
Or rather, what's the lowest point on the ceiling in here?
I mean, it's fairly even. So I mean, 20 feet-ish height around this entrance is 15 to 20 feet is probably the shortest you've got.
For the ceiling?
Yeah, in this little hallway here, 15 to 20 feet up. Yeah.
That's not bad.
Okay, it's good to know.
It's fairly similar to how the floor is.
Yeah, I like that. So right here would be the spot. Get this fucking drawing out of here.
You guys could get all those drawings out of here, would be great.
It's one at a time, don't you worry.
Yeah, let me just help.
What you doing?
I don't know if like these things are. Oh yeah, those are. Of course, you drew on things that aren't on the map layer. You have to delete that yourselves.
Oh. Well, they're primarily for ideas, so I'm about to delete that. Oh my god!
Yeah, deleted your imagination. Congratulations.
It's gone.
Error 404. Alright, so. Right here, the ceiling isn't too tall, Yakusame. I think I have an idea. So, what I'm thinking here. Goblins, they're not that tall. Hobgoblins are the tallest foe that we've faced. Awarthon mentioned that he can move up to a 5-foot cube, correct?
Yeah.
So the shortest area that we have in terms of distance is going to be about roughly 15 feet, maybe 10 if we're lucky. Well, like tries to measure it, like looks roughly 15 feet. What I'm thinking is we could use a Warthon to raise the areas on both sides, and it kind of goes over here and then goes over here. That would leave one single entrance. It would be 5-foot wall here, a 5-foot wall here, and then only an entrance through the middle
For us to run through.
for us to run through. Exactly. As we run through, I know full well that, and Gutsu kind of thinks about it, we're going to have to see how quickly a Warthon can drop the materials that he uses, but potentially if he can reach the ceiling, and I gesture to the ceiling like 20 feet up.
15 to 20. It's it's not smooth, so
Yeah, it is kind of gesture to the ceiling. Potentially he could drop a chunk and fill in this layer here. That could buy us some time, and we could set it up relatively quickly.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Additionally, we could have other such traps.
But if he raises the earth here, won't he have to take it from somewhere else?
What do you mean?
I mean, we can't just move it up. We have to put something underneath it then too. You know what I mean? So he's gonna have to take it from somewhere and then place it there.
So that's the beauty of it. We would move it from in front of the 5 foot. So that
Yeah.
way, not only would there be a hole directly in front of it, but there would also be a 5-foot wall behind that hole.
You're saying a wall here, and then behind that, a pit.
Close. What I'm thinking is we would put a 5-foot wall, let's say, here and here,
Yeah, and then run through it, and then drop one down, right?
and then drop it down here.
But for those
But
walls,
for these walls, we could take dirt from here and from here.
do you want it from the front side?
Exactly. That way, we could have a pit in front of the walls. And there would be an even smaller chance that they would be able to scale both sides.
But do we want to stop them all right here, or we don't? Do we want them to run in here?
Oh, it won't stop them for long. It's not that tall. I
Maybe
doubt
we-
it would stop them for
Maybe
long.
we should put the pit on the backside of it, so when they jump over, they fall into it.
Why not both?
We do both.
Additionally, I'm thinking that this hallway here could be an excellent area for spike pit traps.
Yeah.
Yes.
How much do you want to move out?
Trying to think of how we'd want to set it up. We could make ourselves a path through and have almost every other area in here, besides the path we know about, be a spike pit. It wouldn't take long to excavate, but it would take a bit of time to set the spikes up, and even a little bit longer to hide them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how much time we have, but we can try it. I like the wall idea and the pit idea.
I was also thinking of something similar at the entrance of the cave.
Yeah, we could probably catch a few off guard with that.
And it would stop them from leaving. Or at least slow them.
We'll be moving a lot of the ground. Where are we going to put it all?
Well, for the entrance, it would be relatively simple. We'd excavate 5 feet in and put it 5 feet out. That would leave us with a 10-foot wall as soon as you enter. And then potentially we could just taper off one side and create ourselves a mound sort of ramp on the inside. That way we wouldn't have any trying to run or jump out. I think once a goblin enters this cave, it's going to be very helpful to make sure that doesn't leave it.
Yeah.
Having a sort of drop off at the beginning could make it really helpful, might make some of them hesitate. Anything to buy us time is going to be useful. We don't want too many of them chasing us, otherwise we'll get overwhelmed quickly. If we can take them out even a small group at a time, we should be able to do this. No matter how many of them there are. If they come at us single file, or in small enough groups to handle, we can handle it.
Yeah.
But if we get overrun, if we get swarmed, and we don't have adequate measures to thin their numbers or slow them down enough, we're not going to be making it out of here alive.
Yeah. Well, those sound like pretty good ideas. You want some help?
Still thinking of how to implement them. Of course, I know how to make the pit at the entrance. Warthon can help with that. But how do you think we should do the spike pit?
Well,
And Gatsu gestures at his like shank sled.
yeah.
What I'm thinking, if we are to make a spike pit trap, we can dip these and like looks at the gnarly daggers. I'm thinking we could dip these in the giant soup. It's been
Yeah.
well
I don't know
festering
what's in
for a
there, but
while.
it's pretty gross.
Exactly. Even if they don't get killed by the dagger, they might be put out of capacity by that.
Okay. Um. Hmm. So should we wait for a Warthon, and then when he's ready to move some area out, we'll go dip these and put them in place?
Where would we want to set them up?
Well, we could put them in the, at least in the pits before the walls, for sure, right?
Alright, so let's try drawing a little bit here. Shall we?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be Tealy Teals. Alright, so what I'm thinking is we set the walls up like. Let's see. Oh, this could be cool. So this right here is going to be our entrance. Deeper in, and then we set a wall up here. So I'm currently drawing it. So it's going to be a wall. And then this will be an extended wall area. And then we've got like the entrance we can run through there, you know?
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think of pit traps, like maybe pit traps just kind of off to the sides like this. So anything not directly in the middle, like if you get too close to the wall, you're fucked. So that
I
way
think we
they...
should make it a zigzag pattern.
a zigzag.
Yeah. So like we know where to go. Like maybe if it's even simple, like this corner to this corner, like make a path
Hmm.
that we have to follow that only we know.
Could you show me what you have in mind? And Gatsu basically like makes a little mock diagram of what we're looking at right now and gives you a piece of chalk. So go ahead and draw on the map.
All right, so literally just make a simple path for us. Goes. Maybe we can even bring it back. Then come through. And then everything in between. So these will all be big
Mhm.
traps. All around it, basically.
But how will we remember that path in the heat of the moment?
Up, down, up, down.
I actually have an idea. What about using bodies to denote our running points?
Yeah, we could do that. We could place some of these bodies, like just one up here, one at this corner.
We'd have to move a few of these other ones. That way it wouldn't get confusing.
Yeah, or we could just use those bodies.
Or we could use the bodies of the goblins.
Either or.
I want something that we'll know for sure. Something easy, something in the moment, something that we won't trip up on and accidentally impale ourselves.
Well, I'm gonna remember the path because I'm not gonna fall on the spike. But
A Warthon panics. It's not for you.
are we even gonna have a Warthon on the other side of this wall though? Or should we keep him in here?
We're gonna need him.
Okay. Well, let's move some of these bodies out and then grab the goblin bodies, I guess. And then we'll just remember them.
Alright. Mr. DM.
So which you moving? Which ones?
So like this guy, this one, this one.
And
That
where are you
one.
putting them exactly?
I think we'll probably put them up above these other ones. Yeah, and around kind of.
Oh man, I wouldn't want to necessarily move them that far, you know? Just like dump them
Yeah.
off over here.
Are you getting them away from the pile?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm moving Katsu, so he's out of my face.
On my
Alright.
face.
Were there any other ones you wanted moved?
I think
This
there's
one.
3 left.
This one.
Yeah.
This one.
You're just gonna bring all these bodies out.
Yeah.
Okay, and then who's doing all the body moving?
I think
That's
we're both
Katsu,
kind of okay. Figure that out.
primarily.
Go ahead and both roll me a con save.
Okay.
Pretty gross, huh?
Yeah.
Lucky number 7. God damn it.
Yeah.
They're just dead bodies.
Yakasame's more used to seeing dead bodies on the sides of the streets.
Yeah.
Katsu, you're used to fresh dead bodies.
These are pretty rank.
Yeah, if you know like this one here that you're holding now that I'm gonna put right next to you, like
Taking a breather.
it's
Okay.
it's like half a torso and its head, which you decided to carry with it because you thought that was proper. And it's like when you grab at it and like when you try and grab onto something you think's gonna be solid, but your fingers just like it's putting into the flesh. This thing's already bursted days ago, for sure, and it's, yeah. You vomit all over the place, and, you're vomiting for a bit, and you feel just nauseated, and
I'm up against here.
Yeah, you were dealing okay with the smell, but then the whole gloves going through the flesh until it hit bone, it was a little too much for Katsu in the moment.
Humans should be pudding. Basically, something like that comes out of my mouth.
And when you say that,
Not really.
though this body's been mangled and exploded, I mean, it's pretty obvious this was a hobgoblin at one time. Based on the skin that is left.
Okay. That's better. I'm gonna take a breather for a moment, Yakasame.
Wait, you don't like dead bodies?
Dead bodies should be buried with respect.
Well, you can bury them too, but I just want to get them out of the way, you know?
And Katsu's gonna request that you move some of the smaller goblin bodies along the zigzag path you were thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Basically, I'll put one just at kind of like the point. One up there.
And Katsu's actually
right
going
here.
to observe some of the Gabi corpses. Do any of them have shoes? Or like any type of foot protection?
That's a good question.
Because if they're like, yeah, dude, we're all rocking steel sole boots.
Yeah, roll me an investigation. With your
Oh,
nausea
okay.
as you're poking around more dead bodies. This time, goblins piled on top of humans and elves. I mean, they're goblins, and there's more bodies, humans, and elves. And you're like, oh god.
Get a little bit more overwhelmed.
Yeah. You notice that at least there's some things on some of their feet, but it's super inconsistent with that. You just kind of looked. You're not like taking their shoes off and examining them.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, all right, that's enough. That's okay. I got an idea.
Yep. Some of them have some feet protection. Some of them don't.
Okay.
Some of them it's like basically just socks.
Socks can't. Okay.
The hobgoblins, they got shoes.
Nice. All right. Gatsu's gonna be like, all right, fuck that shit. Not mess with the bodies anymore. is instead gonna start kind of. So there's a lot of skeletons here, right? Like, it's like a lot of skellies.
Yeah, this is literal mountains of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of goblinoid skeletons. All these skulls are goblinoid.
Dude, that is metal.
Hobgoblins and goblins.
That is metal as fuck. Okay. And I've got quite a bit of shivs, right?
Yeah, you have a lot of shitty shivs, and you suspect on these other goblins there might be some other useful weapons and armor and things if you're
Nope,
looking for
not
other
touching
pointy
them right
bits.
now. Alright. Yokozame,
Yeah.
I think it should be relatively straightforward to set up some of the shivs in these bones. If we find ourselves some nice nooks to kind of dig them into, they should stay upright.
And Katsu, as you come back to the mound of bones and you're walking on them, just roll me a general, some type of wisdom roll.
Just like wisdom save, or...
Just do a general, just wisdom, yeah.
Okay.
Not a save, but wisdom. Whew. I was hoping that'd be a 7, but that was worse.
I mean, I rolled a 7.
Okay. Well, yeah, when you're stepping on the bones, you're just thinking about how all of these bodies need to be buried, and buried with respect.
Fuck.
All of them. And it was that crunch underneath your foot, this unknown corpse. Now a piece of its body turned to dust underneath your boot.
Is it like silver colored at all?
Alright, y'all gotta be a dick.
All you're thinking is, this is even worse than an unmarked grave.
It's like a mega unmarked grave.
It's a pile of unmarked bodies. Even goblins don't deserve this. Well, maybe, but...
I see your meaning.
You doing okay there, Katsu?
Katsu's not doing okay. Visually. Like, Katsu's leaned up against the wall, is just like, got that face on, like, ugh.
Here, leave the daggers. I'll get this. You start working on something else.
So many of them.
Like, looks down at the bones I'm standing on, like, yeah.
Not a single one of these will ever see a grave, will they?
No, most of them are goblins. Remember the Etten killed a lot of them because he swore to protect the city?
Just goblins. Right.
Well, and those people there. I point to the dead bodies.
Yeah, Katsu's walking away at this point. Actually, scratch that. Katsu's walking to get some fresh air.
Stepping over the corpses.
Back over.
Skirting my
Like you hit
best.
somebody with your car and backed up over them.
Around. Skirting my best
Wheel
around.
loses traction on one of the bodies.
Oh my god. That's
Oh,
fucked
no.
up.
Sorry, that was a little bit of my morbidity coming out.
Damn, dude.
No experience driving on bodies over here. Not to be worried.
That
Worried
got
about.
kind of dark kind of fast.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put those shanks in. Try to set them up in good places off of our path.
Okay.
Remember a time and place. Sludge goes on shanks.
Oh yeah, right.
So let's call a 5-minute bathroom and liquid break.
Oh, I love liquids.
I'm getting tired. I'll be out.
Do we want to call it here?
How much more are you how much more do you want to plan, Bludria?
Honestly, I just wanted to do a little bit more chatting. Like maybe not even in character.
We can do it next session, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
J-Buck and I did not do well after staying up that late.
Nope. Kick my ass.
It's pretty bad.
So,
All right.
with this, you know, we got the ball rolling. I think we're getting in the groove. Let's not push it and ruin it.
Yeah. It was good to get started and get the recap out of the way, kind of.
Yep.
Get an idea of where we're at and what we want to do.
So,
Yeah.
Katsu's, you're walking out towards some air. Put yourself back over there for my sake.
Huh? Oh, I was just gonna. Okay.
Yep. I like that you're walking to get air. That's a good stopping point.
Yeah.
And
Okay, cool.
Akasame's like, well, I gotta deal with these daggers now. All these
Okay.
Doesn't even
options.
notice the bodies, like.
Nope.
You're just like treating it like a Christmas tree instead of like threading materials through like branches. You're just sticking them through like skulls and stuff.
Those bodies
Really
just
organizing them.
reminded me of Henry that I had to pull out of my box last week. So
Yeah.
came home and there's just an old dead guy there frozen. I was like, well, okay.
Alright.
Henry.
Henry,
You
damn
rascal.
You rascal, you.
You like, there's some premium like huddle spot, and this old ass super hobo's been like hoarding it forever.
Yep.
And one day, when you like throw a rock at him when you go by, he like didn't respond. You're like,
Yep.
oh yeah. And
Ah, Henry.
you just pull him out and you take that real estate.
Yeah,
This
that's how you get real estate on the streets.
Free real estate.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, Yakusama's just like got super broken up, killed this set and like, oh, my warrior's pride has taken a dent. Yakusama is just like, it's free real estate.
Yep, exactly.
Hey, Yakuzame felt terrible. She didn't
Yeah,
even
no,
want to
no.
go hunt the Etten, okay?
So
Well, you need to just not understand how things work in the world.
So I think this was a nice little reintroduction for ourselves, and we're hoping to play again in a couple days and get this back to its normal routine of every Saturday at 7 p.m. PST.
Mhm.
Live streaming here on Bane of the Ancients and Bane of the Hawk Gaming, brought to you by Gats Righteous. So, thanks everyone who tuned in. Again, we'll get back to our normal, more episodic, thematic, serious tone here very shortly. Us as players, me as a GM, just, it's nice to have our zero session when you've had so many months in a hiatus, just to kind of get in the groove of thing. It takes the pressure
Yeah.
off, it makes it fun again, because you don't want to make mistakes. To be like, oh god, I forgot that I was
Yeah.
gotta rewind it. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, no, it's too late,
No.
you're dead.
Yeah, exactly.
You killed the NPC you were trying to save. Ha ha!
Yeah.
And yeah, we're
Should have remembered.
Should have remembered it. Should have read your
Yeah.
backstory. Should have just rewatched all the episodes and right
Every
now.
single one.
I got my damage transfer ability after that little boy was sniped.
Yep.
Gee dang
Yeah.
it. Gee dang it.
But the next
Well-
little boy who gets shot right in front of me while he's giving me exposition, I'll save him.
The next one.
The next
Yeah, no.
little innocent
That's
child
why,
who gets shot, I'll save their life.
Here's what happens. Do you want to cut down the enemy before they hurt your friend? Thinks about how kid gets sniped, like, I'd cut that arrow down. Thinks about how that actually work in practice, like, no. Just let it hit me.
You have your ultimate danger sense. You just, like, stop time real quick, step like 15 feet forward, slice
Don't
an
try to
arrow
stop it at all.
right out of the air.
That'd be sweet.
Time resumes, like, arrow splinters at the kid. She's like, oh, why'd you throw that at me? You're like, no, I just saved you. You're like, what the fuck? How'd you get behind me? It's a demon. And
Yeah, right. Entire town hates you.
yeah, I think
Gets killed.
I think going the end of Deadpool 2 is probably the best route. So,
Yeah.
There you go.
all right, so
Well, now.
let's get this stream over for now, and we'll resume it shortly. Thanks again. I'm Gets Righteous as the GM for this session 13.0 session of Bane of the Ancients. If you want to check out the more serious and other episodes where I don't have a huge headache and I'm exhausted and we're playing zero sessions, go ahead and check them out. You can find all the episodes on 2 YouTube channels and on Twitch right now. It's Bane of the Ancients DnD or Bane of DnD. You can find that on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitters, all that good stuff, and on the Bane of the Hot Gaming website. Also, if you like gaming with us, all 3 of us and more players are gaming every Friday on a game that Eludria GMs called Heroes of Old. That game's been going on 4 years now. So there's infinite episodes of backlog if you guys want to watch. It's a ridiculous, over-the-top, wild campaign where we all blow off a lot of steam. And then also, I just got to give a shout out to my friend Paul Garish and his awesome D&D community now called Tales of Swordfall. He has everything all nicely edited. You don't have to watch, you can listen and enjoy every episode. He has Anchor FM, YouTube, and you can find all that at the Tales of Swordfall or Swordfall D&D on every platform you could think of: Facebook, Twitter, Anchor FM, YouTube, yada yada yada. And they're also on baneofthehotgaming.com as well. Over to you, Yakasami.
Oh yeah, I'm J-Buck. Yeah, it was fun, nice to get into it a little bit tonight. Get back into the groove of things. Get a reminder of where we were. But yeah, go ahead and check out all those Twitters and YouTubes and baneofthehotgaming.com and yeah, all the plugs. Check them all out. And Katsu.
I concur. You should absolutely check out all of our plugs. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. I've been Eludria. I play Katsu, and I look forward to slaying some goblins or getting shivved to death next session, potentially.
Our own shiv.
We'll, oh no. We'll see how it goes. I'm actually really excited for it. Tune in for more grimdark adventures next time.
Yep, and just like they were saying there, we got all kinds of plugs. We got like foxtail plugs, we got lizard tail plugs. We've got,
what you into, dog?
Yeah, we got you know, whatever kind of
no.
plugs you like. We've got them over at Heroes of Old. Not
Check it out
not
Friday.
Bane of the Ancients. This is a Friday thing, not a Saturday thing. Friday, Heroes of Old. Any kind of plug you want, we'll get it in there.
We'll get it in.
They have those corkscrew ones. So, and if it makes you feel better, and if you're homophobic, you don't want things up your butt, if you die and you have an open casket, they actually put a corkscrew glass thing to keep all the liquid in your body. So you're gonna get fucked in the ass if you're dead or alive, unless you destroy your body completely. So consider cremation.
I saw that,
if
by
you're
the way.
scared of that.
Consider cremation.
It's a thing. I
Yeah.
learned about it in college. I did.
I just saw like a post and it had a picture of it
Oh, that's awesome.
the other day. So when you were talking about it, I was like, dude,
It's
exactly picturing that.
It's totally, it's a thing. Yeah, I had, in my lifespan psychology, we had to watch the entire freaking morgue process. It's like, this is
Yeah,
terrible.
that's
Why?
crazy.
Why are we doing this? Like, why can we just bury the body, please? Why do we gotta empty it and refill it?
Yeah,
Freaking
fake stuff.
Oh god, it's so creepy. All right, I'm gonna end the stream.
Bye-bye.
Alright.